Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the THE Counsellor. We have a very exciting institution with us today, Politecnico di Milano, based in central Milan, in Italy, and they're going to be talking to us about their fantastic courses and what it's like to study at their institution. So I'm going to firstly just say if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the Q&A box at the bottom of the Zoom, and we'll get to them at the end of the session. And now I'm going to pass over to our host for the day, our first host of the day, Chiara, who's going to run us through her slides.
Thank you very much, Emilia, and welcome everyone to this session. We hope it's going to be quite interesting for you and your students. My name is Chiara. I work in the International Students Recruitment Unit of the university, and I'm here with Alessandra, who is in charge of admissions undergraduate programs. We will try to cover every aspect that might be interesting. We think is interesting for you and your students, but of course, just feel free to ask any questions you have. We suggest maybe at the end of the presentation, since a lot of doubts will be solved. I hope during this presentation we have prepared for you. So let me go over here and start introducing you Politecnico di Milano, our prestigious technical university based in Milan. We offer programs in architecture, design, and engineering, as you can see here. And we hope this might be the destination for your students' future undergraduate programs. Politecnico di Milano was established in 1863 as a school of engineering and is now a very lively and very well recognized in Italy and abroad university, very engaged in technical fields, research in design, architecture, and engineering. Thanks to these and many, many other aspects, you will discover we are the first university in Italy according to the QS World University ranking, and maybe more interesting, we are sixth in design and seventh in architecture in the world, as well as 21st in engineering. So let's say the ranking and reputation of the university are quite high, which is something you might share with the parents overall. We really need to know whether the university where their sons and daughters go to is good enough. Politecnico is also based on some very important values, like that you can see here on the screen. We try to to teach also these values to pass them over to the students in many different ways, but basically in their everyday life on campus. The campus is located in Milan, the main one. Of course, the city is very well known abroad. It's strategically located in the north of Italy, giving the opportunity to travel a lot, to discover Europe easily, very easily by plane, train, car, many different ways. It's the economic hub of Italy, of course, and a very lively and international city. Well, at the moment, we are hosting the Design Week, the Fuori Salone, so a very well-known event taking place in the city, and which Politecnico di Milano is part of. So a lot of our professors, researchers, and students are currently involved in projects presented during the Design Week. The cultural offer is wide. The university hosts the city hosts different universities, so it's also a very interesting environment for young people. At the same time, we do have other campuses around Lombardy and Emilia-Romagna. So we have a second campus in Milan called Milano Bovisa, which is dedicated to design and some programs of engineering. Another focused on Lecco, based in Lecco by the Lake Como, where we have recently opened a new program in interaction design at undergrad level in English. And then Cremona, Mantova, and Piacenza. All of these cities are very close to Milan, like 1 hour, maximum 2 hours by train, and they're very beautiful. And they offer programs which have a reason why they are taught on that specific campus. Um, all these campuses have and host laboratories, because research is one of the missions of the university. We have currently 245 laboratories, which are part of our infrastructures. 6 of these are called large infrastructures and are the ones you see here on the screen. Very well equipped, and sometimes even used by the companies, even let's say very often used by the companies to test their devices and to improve their technology. The connection between the companies and Politecnico di Milano is really strong, and you will see that also in the data we share about the career opportunities and statistics. In terms of internationalization, we have 8,000 international students on campus out of 48,000 students enrolled currently at the university. The majority of them are at the master level, because so far we have taught and offered programs in English at master level, while we are widening the offer at undergrad level now, as you might know, and you will discover for sure. Students come from more than 100 nationalities, and also we are international also thanks to the agreements, the exchange programs we have. The double degree students can take part to and apply for. So the English is spoken on campus. Students have plenty of opportunities to have an international experience from many different points of view. In terms of academic offer, we have the 3 levels of education available here. So bachelor programs, master programs, and PhD programs are possible, so are offered. There is one program which is a single cycle degree, which lasts 5 years, plus a specialization, and then also we offer the specializing masters. So it's a full and wide educational offer available at Politecnico di Milano. Beyond and beside the academic opportunities, we also try to give the best to the students. We consider the students not only a mind, but also people. Like one student is a person with interests, with needs, with requests, of course. So we try to offer a welcoming at the beginning, so orientation activities. Throughout their career, they can count on psychological support, on tutoring. They can, of course, attend cultural events organized on campus, be part of student associations, also gone with sport activities if they are fond of sports, because we do have the infrastructures here, libraries and bars, canteens are obviously available. We try to offer also some courses which are not directly related to the field of study of our students, but that develop other skills. So, for example, extracurricular classes, which are available for free, language courses. So all this is a part of the student's life experience. And going back to the academic, so the fields we offer, architecture, design, and engineering, and just to give you some names, some more details. Well, these are the programs available in architecture and design. You see, architectural design is offered also in English, so it's available in Italian and in English. The other two programs in architecture are available in Italian. About design, we have one program in English, which is interaction design, offered on Leico campus, and the others for communication, fashion, interior, and product, offered in Italian. And then the wide list and long list of programs in engineering. One of these programs is offered in English at the moment, which is civil engineering. However, from September 2026, Politecnico di Milano will open 3 new programs in engineering, one in Milan, one in Piacenza, and one in Cremona. The 3 programs will be focusing on different aspects of engineering, one more general, so a specific, particular program which is going to cover the engineering topics in general. One more on mechanical, similar to mechanical, one probably related to information technology. More details will be available probably in May. And if you since we are in contact, you register to this webinar, we will definitely share the details and information as soon as they are available. Last but not least, before I leave floor to Alessandra about the application and requirements for entering these programs, I would love you to know about what happens to the students after they finish their bachelor, or if they continue their master programs. Well, they can count on the career service guidance. So this is an office which is part of the university, which has built very strong relations with the companies in Italy and abroad. They organize job fairs, career days. They help the students in writing motivation letters and creating their CV and so on. Students have access to job opportunities and internships opportunities on their website, since they are students of Politecnico di Milano, and so on. And the data statistics are quite good, as you can see here on the screen. The majority of our students have a job within 6 months from graduation in their fields, and we are focusing on international students, some of them even before graduation. And well, 91% think that the university prepared them well for the job. So even if it's tough and demanding, it's worth it and rewarding. I end my part here and leave floor to Alessandra, and then I will be back for any questions you might have for me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chiara. So I put the control. Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Alessandra. I work in the International Students Office for Bovisa and Leonardo campus. Basically, I'm in charge in the admission procedure for the enrollment in a Bachelor of Science and in the administrative stuff regarding the enrollment. So I will check if it's possible for me. Okay. Basically the first information in order to know about the procedure to register are regarding the requirements. The requirements necessary for the students with a qualification obtained abroad. The high school diploma has to be obtained after a minimum of 12 years of schooling. Also, some specific and additional requirements are requests for students with the IB or UK or USA high school diploma. And for the students who start their studies before in Italy, but then move in another country, they have to complete the high school diploma abroad at least of 2 years, not before. Regarding the IB diploma, the requirements we request with this kind of diploma depends from the Italian Educational Ministry, and generally the basic requirements requests are 24 points in 6 subjects, and 12 of which must be obtained in higher level subjects. Also, we request the 3 principal subjects in the study plan, and the subjects are theory and knowledge, and creativity, action and service, and also finally the extended essay. The specific documents requests for the IB diploma are the final IB diploma and also the school report cards of the last 3 years. Also, the students who started the secondary school education in an Italian school and then move in an undergraduate program abroad, they have to complete the 3rd class, the 3rd high school class in Italy before to move in the IB programs. About the American high school diploma, the requirements requests are 3 APs with a score included between 3 to 5. And for the students with a foreign citizenship, we request the AP in Italian language just if they want to enroll in a course teaching Italian. It is not mandatory for the course teach in English. For the British diploma, the requirements requests are the 3 A level, and also in this case, it is mandatory the A level in Italian language, just if the student wants to enroll in a course teaching Italian. It is not mandatory for students with a foreign citizenship who wants to register in a course teaching English. We consider equivalent to Italian candidates all the students with European citizenship and students with non-EU students residing in Italy with a valid residence permit. Otherwise, the other category we consider as non-EU students is the students who needs a valid visa for study in order to come in Italy and to start their studies in a university. How you can register? To register in the admission test, it is mandatory before to complete the registration in the online Polimi online services. The registration in the Polimi online services give to the candidate the possibility with a personal code and a password to enter in their personal page, where it is available the link to complete and to start and complete the registration for the admission test. The link is called Laurea equivalent to Bachelor of Science and Single Cycle Programs Recovery Test and Enrollment Test Registration, where it is possible to check the link for to select the test and complete the registration with the payment of the test. After the registration test, we will ask to all students to upload the report cards of the last 3 years of high school. Sorry. And for the and also we ask a certificate to confirm the registration in the last year of high school. For the architecture admission test, the information about the procedure to register or the deadlines generally will be available around April, and the admission test takes place once a year. It is possible to take the test in Italian or in English language. For the students can take both, so they can decide to register in the admission test in Italian language to try to enter in a course teaching Italian, or to register in the admission test in English to enter in the course of architectural design teach totally in English language. And the admission test take place, it is online. You have not to come in Italy in order to take it. Okay, I lost just a second. Okay, for the engineering admission test, the students equivalent to Italian candidates can take the test also in the penultimate year of high school, and if they pass the test with the minimum score of 75 out of 100, can be enrolled in the early enrollment session, and they can they don't have to be the score obtained will not consider in the final ranking during the last year of high school. Also, as an alternative of engineering admission test for the students considered equivalent to Italian candidate could be the TOEIC in Italian language. In order to enter in a course teach obviously in Italian language, it is possible to take the Italian TOEIC during the penultimate year of high school and also during the last year of high school. Then for the course teach in English language, in this case speaking about the course of civil engineering, it is possible to enter using the English TOEIC, and also with the English TOEIC, the students can only enroll in the course of civil engineering, so in the course teach totally in English language. Also, this kind of admission test could be taken during the penultimate or during the last year of high school. To register in the course of civil engineering, it is possible in alternative to the English TOEIC, take the SAT. The SAT open the possibility to all the students who submit this kind of test to register, to enroll in the early enrollment phase. That means the students can use the SAT to register in the course of civil engineering in English, but also in the other courses teaching Italian language. And the admission is automatically, so means it is not they have to submit the test, and they can decide to register in the course of engineering without the ranking, but they have to obtain the score of 620 in each section in order to be considered eligible for the admission in the early phase. About the admission test for the design courses, the TOEIC is carried out in person, so the students interested in the courses teaching Italian or in English language have to come in Italy in order to take the admission test. The students can sit the TOEIC in Italian for a maximum of 2 times, and will be considered the best scores. And it is possible to take the admission test also in English for the course in interaction design, and the admission test in English could be taken just once a year. And the test consists in two different parts. The meaning of the test parts, it's about the knowledge of general culture, the geometry and representation, history, reason, and verbal comprehension. And also the second part of the test is the test of English, is the section test for the knowledge of English. Then finally, we also offer the courses, the course of urban design, or urban planning, sorry. To enter in the course of urban planning, the students has to take the admission test in two different parts. The first part is to submit a motivation letter and also another text referring to the personal experience about the main topics of the urban planning courses. And finally, they have to take an interview where they have to explain, to speak about the two different tests submitted before, and also about the motivation to register in the course of urban planning. And the course is teach totally in Italian language, so also the text has to be submitted in Italian, and also the interview is in Italian. Okay, we already speak about this. And finally, all the information regarding to the procedure can be found on our website. On the section how to apply, you find the information about the admission to LARA programs, divided in the different main subject organized from Politecnico. And then you can find also our contact on our website, where you can write to us an assistance request. You can also to chat with us on Monday and Thursday. So I finish my presentation. I leave again the floor to Chiara.
Thanks, Sara. Yeah.
Thank you.
We just had some info, but
Okay. Okay, some information about the tuition fees. The total amounts is divided into different installments. The first installments you have to pay for the enrollment, and it is around 800 and around 900 euros. And the second installment depends from your family income. And in order to know the amounts you have to pay for the second installment, you have to submit some specific documents about your income, where will be calculated the equivalent ISE. But in order to know, the maximum tuition fees you can pay per year is 3,700 euros.
Thanks, Alessandra. And so, yeah, as Alessandra was saying...
Chiara, non ti sentiamo.
Okay.
Forse hai sulla...
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so as Alessandra was saying before, there is a direct, like students can contact the office in charge directly, sending a message or just chatting with Alessandra and her colleagues, while you, as counselors, can direct your requests, emails, and doubts to us, to the students recruitment unit. The email here is not for students, but just for all of you, so you can reach out to us directly, and then we might forward your questions to Alessandra, but that's the way you can keep in contact with us. Before starting the Q&A session we look forward to, we just wish to provide you with an additional piece of information and opportunity for your students overall. Well, they can contact some current students of the university directly, so they can book an appointment with them online and have a direct contact with them, asking questions, doubts, about the program, about students' life, and so on. So we just really encourage this because it's great to know directly the experience of a student, and of course the social networks and the channels, which are a good way to know more about Politecnico di Milano also. Thank you. And Emilia, let us know if there was interest and doubts.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of questions actually, so it's good that we have some time for answering them. So I will probably run through the first question if that suits guys.
Yep.
What are the current offers of the programs in English at bachelor level?
Yeah, sure. Well, we can maybe just go back here quite quickly. So the list is shown again. These are the programs in architecture and design. The ones in English are in bold. So architectural design is in English, interaction design is in English, and civil engineering is also in English. As I was saying before, from September 2026, more programs in engineering will be offered.
Perfect. And the second question is, Myra asks, so her school is the IB diploma school. What are the specific requirements, DP points or classes that students need? For example, for engineering careers, are there any specific classes?
No, we not request specific classes. The important is the final score 24 out of 45 and the subject mandatory that I think it is mandatory to obtain the IB diploma.
Perfect. Thank you, Alessandra.
You're welcome.
So we have another question about qualifications.
For
Are
the
there,
AP.
yes, exactly. Yes. Are there AP exams that do not count? Or
No, just the AP in Italian for the students who want to register in a course teaching Italian. But for the other subjects or AP classes, we don't have, we don't request specific subjects for engineering, for design or architecture.
perfect. And also a question, is the admissions test for everyone, that everyone must take it no matter the diploma they're applying with?
Yes, the admission test is mandatory. Doesn't matter the diploma. The important is that the diploma also give the possibility to the student to enroll in his or her country in a university in a university in his country. So it is valid for us.
Perfect. And is it offered in English and Italian?
What?
Well, the first admission, well, it like depends on the program.
Yes.
So yeah, the architecture test is held in Italian and in English since the program is available in both languages, while design is available again in Italian and in English, but the English test is only for interaction design, which is offered in English. For engineering programs, well, yeah, we might go back here, but
We have the civil, the English Talkie that
Yeah.
is provided from CISDIA and the alternative test SAT.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you.
Just-
So, yeah, lots of questions. So, yeah, very fun. More.
Yes.
It's about, is there a representative for South America students in Colombia?
Yeah, it is mandatory the foundation year.
Okay.
For the candidates with 11 years of schooling, generally we suggest or to take a foundation year, a foundation course in Italy or in their country, or to register 1 year just for 1 year and complete all the exam of the first year in their country. So we consider the university year as the requirements of the 12 years of schooling.
Perfect.
And about the representative for South America, I might answer. We do have some council, some agents, I would say, in South America. They're not yet engaged with the undergrad students, but you can reach out to us directly, and then we see if we can, yeah, follow up.
Amazing. And we have another question, which for the campus, will there be a separate area for students to work on projects?
Yeah, well, on campus there are several areas which are dedicated to students' work. So in different parts of the university. So yes, of course, they have the space and the opportunity to work on their projects in specific areas of the university.
Amazing. And another question from Fatima, which is, will the university inform students what device or item to bring with?
Well, it depends on the programs. Surely some in design and architectural role, there are some suggestions about maybe softwares which are required, but we don't really give advices about device. It's not much. It's not our thing, but I suggest students maybe to get in contact with current students to know what they use and what might be useful and the best solution according to their experience.
Amazing. And then Mariam asks, in my school, we have graduates in it. We don't offer AP classes. Do you have a recommendation for foundation programs or maybe a partner foundation?
Okay, we don't have a specific foundation program. We can recommend it, but anyway, what we can suggest is to take a foundation course with the duration of 1 academic year and a foundation year held basically from a university recognized, if you want in Italy, recognized from our Italian educational ministry. If you want to take the foundation course in another part, in another country, that the foundation has to be recognized by the Italian educational ministry of the country where you enroll, where you study. An Italian passport, it's a guarantee program. I am asking for a student who has an Italian passport. Okay. With Italian passport, yes, it is the same because they will be considered as Italian students.
Perfect. So yeah, so many questions. Which is very good. Thank you for submitting them, everyone. If a student decides to go with the SAT and perhaps twice, would you supersize the scores?
We consider the higher scores. Yes, it is possible to register twice or more, and then we will check, we will consider for the admission the higher score obtaining with the SAT.
Amazing. And are the AP courses required for admission? What are the AP courses?
No, we don't have we not suggest a specific AP courses for the class in engineering.
Perfect, yeah. will we send a recording to registered participants? I can answer that one, and the answer is yes. So no worries if you missed bits of today. We'll be sending the full recording after the session today. So Bridget has a question, which is, would IB students need to get their IB diploma legalized, or would
No, no. The IB diploma, the documents requests are the IB diploma. We don't need the legalization on IB diploma because we can check the score on IBO website. So we ask just to share the score obtained on the website.
Amazing. And yeah, I think we have some specific questions. Turkish high schools. So is the Turkish National High School diploma, does it meet the admission requirements?
Yes, generally yes. We don't have a problem with the Turkish high school diploma.
Perfect. And now a slightly different question, not related to admissions, is how, I'm not sure if we've maybe covered this partially, but how does the university assist with finding housing for students?
Yeah, the question, I would say. All right, like we as a university, we have some halls of residence that students can book. So there is a booking system, which is usually open in June. Of course, we don't have enough rooms and beds for all the students we have. So along with that, there are some other services we offer. We have partner private accommodation that is linked on our websites. Plus, there are some discounts through partner agencies, which are 100% trustable. Plus a service of like associations which are really active in in connecting Erasmus students who leave and come, and degree seekers. So there is a support provided by the university and by the associations. But yeah, what we suggest usually is to look for accommodation as soon as the student knows he wants to come here, or they passed the test. That's important. I'm talking about Milan. Of course, about Lecco and other campuses, it's much easier to find a place, and there are more seats available even in the residencies of the university.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, Chiara. And there is a question about if there is a portfolio needed when applying for.
No, it is not needed. Just the admission test. In
Perfect.
order to enter in architectural design course, we consider just the admission test. Any portfolio is a request.
Amazing. Shavona's asked, I think we've already covered this previously. Most programs, are they in Italian only? I believe some of them are in English as well.
Yeah, we teach in English. We have 3 programs in English at the moment, and the majority of our undergrad programs are currently offered in Italian. However, as we were saying, 3 new programs will come up in the next year, so in 2026, and the trend is to open new programs in English. So this is just the start.
Amazing. We have a question about the fees. So do the €3,500 fees apply for non-EU students?
Yes, the amount is the same.
So
Perfect.
that's the highest fee that a student might pay. Then according to the financial, so if the student doesn't provide any proof of his or her financial situation, he is gonna pay €3,500. Otherwise, if he provides the documentation required, the tuition fees will be set according to their financial condition. So minimum €900 almost per year, up to 3,500. 700, yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know. So we have another question about the SATs, which is the SAT good for English taught programs as
Yes, of course. We consider the SAT and the English toolkit. The SAT, it is possible to spend for the students who register in the last year of high school. If they already obtained the high school diploma, they can use just the English toolkit.
amazing. And there's a question about the chemical engineering program. Is this an option for international students? And is this only taught in Italian? This counselor's student is interested in speaking Italian or speaks Italian. So
No, it is possible. As an international student, can decide to register in all courses, in all bachelor courses, also if they are held in Italian language.
Yeah, so the student, if he knows Italian, he can take the tests in Italian and enroll in the program in Italian. Yeah, he's more than welcome.
perfect. Yeah. Nice. And there's a question about the 12
Of a higher level IB, yes, they will. Okay, basically, we request, or the Italian Educational Ministry requests 24, a minimum score of 24, and out of these 24, 12 points has to be obtained in the higher level subjects.
Perfect. And this is about do you require TOEFL or IELTS
Yeah.
to enter the English courses? Perfect. What are the level requirements? So, for instance, do you accept GCSE?
Okay, for the course teaching English, yes, we request English language certification. We accept IELTS, TOEFL with a specific score. I think it is possible to find on our website in the section dedicated to the language certification the English level request for the bachelor courses teaching English.
Perfect. Thank you, Alessandra. Can students enter the bachelor programs directly if they only have national bachelor diploma? I'm not sure if that is specific enough, or if you need clarification, they can email you as well.
Bachillerato, I guess, is
Yes.
so as long as they have 12 years of
Yes.
education, they can take the test and enter the
Yes.
program. Yeah.
Amazing. So I think we might have covered this question from Samia, which is, does civil engineering students, do they need to take the entrance exam? I believe the answer is yes.
Yes, correct.
And when do the exams take place, or are they on a rolling basis?
The English toolkit.
Yeah.
Okay. The English toolkit it's held from a specific platform. It is the CISIA. And it is possible to enter on the website of CISIA where is published the different test session of English toolkit. It is possible to register to all session, also the session held from other Italian university, and take the result and use the result to enter in Politecnico di Milano.
Perfect. Thank you, Alessandra. We have a lot of questions about admissions requirements. So
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is you've given the mandatory requirements, but is there average score achieved by IBDP students who enter the first year?
Yeah, the first year, but what do you mean? The average score achieved by IB? Yes, the average score, the minimum is a 24. Yes, to enter in the first year.
So I guess like we don't really as long as they have 24, then
Yeah,
we don't really look at their grades and
no.
score anymore. We just look at the entrance test result.
Mm.
So I'm not sure if the average score is related to the entrance test results and or not. Maybe we can clarify. You, David, maybe you can clarify that. But it's just like once they pass the test and with the score that Alessandra mentioned, that's it. We don't consider the scores
Of
obtained at high
yes.
school anymore. Yeah. I hope I
We
answered.
consider we verify just during the admission process the validity of the bachelor, sorry, the validity of the diploma, the high school diploma. So with the IB diploma, we have the specific requirements mandatory for all the students, and we have to check if the candidate has these kind of requirements. And for us, if they have the high school diploma, the IB diploma is valid. Otherwise, no.
Okay, yeah, that sounds that's very helpful actually. And also just to clarify, because there are a lot of questions on admissions requirements in the email, the follow-up, we will provide an email address if you have, or contact information if you have specific questions, or like a link to a website where you can find more. So we have another question, which is do you need a certain level of maths to take the entrance test? And is it
No. We not request. We not check the level of the subject before the test. We consider just the result of the test.
Which also means students must be prepared in maths, of course, because part of like maths is part of the entrance
Yeah.
test. So if they're not prepared, they might. It's unlikely they pass the entrance test. But it's not something we verify by looking at the scores they obtain at school, just by verifying the results of the entrance test.
Thank you, Chiara. There's a question about what are the requirements for students with state board backgrounds. I'm not 100% on what that means. I'm not sure if you guys are aware.
Not really. State board backgrounds, I'm not sure. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, maybe we can. Yeah, you can reach out to us.
Yeah, just to
clarify. Yeah.
Perfect. You mentioned rankings during admissions. Can you say a bit more about how the rankings work?
Okay, yes, depends. Students who not enter with the alternative test like the SAT, but they enter with a test who could be the tool for the design, our tool for engineering, or the English tool key. At the end of the test will be obtained a score. This score will be considered in a ranking where, based upon the score obtained and also the places available for the courses of interest, the students can be checked if he or she is eligible to enroll or not.
Brilliant.
Because there are a specific number of places available for each bachelor courses.
Amazing. So we have, I think we've already covered this. Is there a language proficiency requirement in Italian for international students?
Okay, for the students with European citizenship or Italian citizenship and foreign degree, we not request a Italian language certification. For non-EU students, yes, if they want to register in a course teaching Italian, they have to submit a minimum level of B2 of Italian language knowledge, or in alternative, they have to take the Italian language test organized from Politecnico.
Thank you. Is there,
Students who want to study in English don't need Italian
don't need,
language
yes,
certificate.
just if they want to register in a course teaching English, yes, in Italian, sorry.
brilliant. Thank you for clarifying. Bridget asks, would there be practice material for the admissions test available?
Depends from the test.
Yeah, there are some demo.
Mm.
There are some materials we are working on other links and tools, but yeah, at the moment there are some which are published on our website for design, architecture, and for engineering. Well, since the test is offered by CISIA, I'm talking about English. Talkie. We are in connection with them now to create some materials in English.
Perfect. Yep, thank you for that. We also have a question about the British High School diploma specifically, as results are released kind of mid-August. So if
It's okay. For us, it's okay, because the students had the possibility to confirm the score obtained from the diploma within the first week of September. So if the result will be published in the middle of August, there is not a problem.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Alessandra. We have a question about what admission tests do students have to take if they want to study engineering architecture? There's a standard test?
Okay, engineering architecture, I think is the course. I don't really know. Engineering architecture.
But yeah, because it's probably maybe you signed this one, building engineering, maybe. Yeah, building engineering architecture, I guess. They're meant the
Okay.
one cycle.
The single cycle.
Yeah.
It's architect test. It's the test of architecture.
In that case, it will be the Italian version,
Yeah,
of course, because the
because
program
the
is in
course,
Italian.
yes.
Perfect. Is the degree in architecture accredited? And if so, is there a certain body that's accredited?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the degrees are accredited, meaning that the Ministry of Education is even in charge of offering the test. So the test is created and managed by the
Yeah.
Ministry of Education and the university. So it's accredited by our ministry. Usually and generally, it's recognized. I mean, it is recognized abroad. In some countries, it might be necessary to kind of like based on the rules set by the countries to kind of make an equivalence of the degree, but it is recognized abroad and it's valid. Of course, we have students who work in different
In other
countries
countries,
with
yes.
this degree, which is accredited and valid.
Amazing, thank you. Do you offer merit scholarships or scholarships of any kind for international students?
Currently, we don't. We offer
Yes.
some financial-based scholarships, and in addition, once the student is enrolled, he or she can apply to merit scholarship, which are
Mm.
this like offered to all the students, so they are open to all the current students of the university. There is no specific program of scholarships intended to international prospective students at bachelor level at the moment, but again, there might be in the future.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you. We had a question about if students have, for example, a Vietnamese diploma, are there any specific admissions requirements
For
for?
other diploma, the important is the diploma has to be obtained after 12 years of schooling, and also has to be a valid diploma in order to enter in a university in their home country.
Amazing. And Miriam wants to know, how do I know which foundation is recognized by your Ministry of Education?
Generally, all the courses or the foundation course held from a valid university recognized in Italy, or a public university or private university.
Amazing. And yeah, a lot of questions about the SAT
The
scores.
SAT, yes. Can the student apply for civil? Okay, yes, the SAT can be used to enter in the course teach in the civil engineering course teaching English. Not the tool, it is not possible because the tool is just for the course teaching Italian language. So if the interest is enrolled in a course of civil engineering English, it is better to use the SAT or the English toolkit.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you.
It is not possible to use the SAT for architecture, just for engineering.
And we talked about scholarships previously, so I will probably roll on to the next question, which is, our students get an American high school diploma. Are they still a good fit? I think we covered that as well earlier on.
Yes, it is fine for us. The important is the students obtain the 3 APs request.
Perfect. And for the A levels, is there a predicted grade of that?
Predicted grades offer. No, we not consider the score of A levels. The important is they finish and they obtain the A levels.
Amazing. As far as I know, IB legalization is required for visa purposes. Okay, yeah, so
Probably yes, but we not request a legalization on IB diploma.
Sometimes our requirements, what Alessandra mentioned, so there's no need to localize them. But then for obtaining the visa, there might be some different requirements, of course, which we are not in charge of, and we might not even know because they are different for each country, where a visa is required. So that's something you definitely need to check with the consulates in your country.
Yeah.
amazing. Are predicted grades accepted, or application is possible before only when the A level results come out? So is it possible to get accepted
Yeah.
the results?
Yes. As I told before, yes, it is possible. The students can submit the final level also within the first week of September.
And of
Amazing.
course, take the test before that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Yeah, so we have a question about when the test is taken, and average grades, which I believe we covered previously. And what stats are available to see what cohort of students entering is like. So I think there seems to be a theme of if there are kind of average grades, which I think we've covered already, that it's the kind of minimum requirements, and then on top of that, how you do in the admissions test. But correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah, the selection is based on the results of the test. So there is a very strong selection, and the data depends. Like the cohort depends on the programs, of course. So we can share them. Well, if you reach out, we will definitely give you some details about that. But also depends on the program. So we have a very huge number of requests and registration to the ARCAD test for architecture, and the selection is tough, of course. There are less requests for interaction design, for example, also because the program is very new. It was offered last year for the first time, so it might be let me say, easier to enter in interaction design for that reason. But yeah, it really depends on the program. For engineering, civil engineering, the entrance is also possible with SAT, so there is no need to take the entrance test. And once you get the results we mentioned, the minimum score we mentioned, you can enter. You just are assured to and guaranteed to enter the program. So it really depends. It's a complicated system, but it's selective. Like our university is selective. It's just that we don't consider the scores obtained, the grades obtained at school, but just the results of the tests.
Amazing. And another question, I've just been scanning through, some of them have been previously answered. And again, if you have any further questions, I'll be sharing some information after for that. There's another question, which is there a way that students can prepare for the admissions test? Or if there are any tips, recommendations for that?
But
Yeah.
for architecture or generally?
Probably I'd say generally, yeah, because they don't mention a specific course.
Okay, generally we suggest, or you can check on our website. There are some useful information how to prepare for the different tests. There are the demo tests where it is possible to check the questions. But generally we suggest to study on the book from high school for architecture and design, about history, about arts, and then I think in the next months it will be possible to check on our website more information about the books, how to prepare for the design or for architecture.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, I'm just scanning. So, is there an application fee to apply to the English talk programs?
For the no, just you have just to pay the test, the tuition fees for the test.
Which is about 30 euros, right, Alessandra?
35.
35.
Another question about the SATs. Is there a minimum you require for engineering? I think we've covered that, haven't we?
The score is a 620 for both the sections of maths and reading and reasoning.
Amazing. And are there any final two questions? Are there any APs for engineering needed?
No, for free APs with a score included between 3 to 5. We not request a specific APs for the engineering courses, just the AP in Italian language if the students are interested to register in a course teaching Italian.
Amazing. Amazing. And the final question for today, do you have a specific number of seats available for civil engineering in English?
Okay, I think for non-EU is around 40,
Yeah,
maybe, Chiara?
correct. Yeah, it's about 40 for
Mm.
non-European students in the English
Yeah.
program. And then altogether, if I'm not wrong, it's about 100.
Yeah, probably
But
100 for the equivalent
yeah.
for, yeah.
And perfect. And do you know roughly how many applications you get for the civil engineering course, or just
Honestly, I don't have the data in
No.
mind at the moment, but we can definitely share this with by email if you're curious about that. So, yeah, we do have the data, we don't know that, so unfortunately. But yeah, you can reach out and we'll definitely share it.
Well, brilliant. So I think that concludes our question section for today. It's amazing to see so many counsellors truly interested in your courses, but also lots of questions and insightful information to relay back to their students. So thank you for this brilliant session, and thank you to our amazing panelists as well, Chiara and Alessandra.
Thank you too.
A lot of questions to answer, but I think we got there. So
Yeah.
if you guys have any closing words before we
Yeah, definitely. Well, we really appreciate the interest and the patience, and we know it's a complicated process, and there are a lot of doubts. So we are available for any questions,
Yeah.
anything you need. We really wish your students find a great option for them at Politecnico di Milano. We believe it's a very good choice for the future academic career. So. Thank you again, and thanks Emilia and Catalina for your great support. Alessandra, thank you for
Thank you. Thank you too, Chiara. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye bye. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.